Think about the last high stakes conversation you had, a pitch, a negotiation, or a difficult talk with a partner. You prepared, you did the research, you knew your facts. But when the moment came, did you say exactly what you wanted to say? Or did your mind go blank? The perfect comeback usually hits you in the shower the next morning. The killer closing line comes to you on the drive home. That distance between the version of you that prepares and the version of you that performs is called the gap. And that gap is where you lose money. It's where you lose influence. Well, what if that gap disappeared? What if you had a tool that didn't just help you prepare, but actually sat in the room with you? A digital strategist that listens, understands, and whispers perfect words in real time. I'm going to show you NexPhrase. Let's go. Welcome to your dashboard. You'll see a quick start guide to get you operational immediately, an overview of your analytics and progress, but let's dive straight into the engine room. Click projects here in the navigation menu, and here you'll manage all your existing projects. To create a new one, click new project, and this is where NexPhrase stops being a generic AI and becomes your secret weapon. So just say I'm building a scenario, just selling enterprise software. You could call it the project name. This is just for your reference. Let's just put some random name, Cloud Sync CRM sales. We'll keep the project purpose, sales and business development, but you have an option to different options to choose from, including a custom scenario. Here's where you could select persona, which we'll discuss later. And here is where you could, or you have to enter in your coaching brief. So this basically is where you describe your coaching goals, your target audience, your key talking points, desired outcomes, and any specific constraints or requirements. So let me just type something in selling cloud sync CRM, an enterprise customer relationship management platform priced at $85 per user per month. Key differentiators, around 40% lower total cost of ownership compared to Salesforce, 3-month implementation timeline, dedicated integration support included at no cost, and good uptime at 99.9% uptime guarantee. Target market is mid-sized companies with 50 to 500 employees who are frustrated with overpriced or overly complex legacy CRM systems. Common objections include concerns about data migration, risks, team adoption, and switching. Sorry, so that just automatically saved over there. So this is a new thing. It was team adoption and switching costs. ROI typically achieved within 6 months through reduced licensing fees and productivity gains. So I think that's good. Let me just see everything that's good out here. All right, so yeah, that looks good. So as you can see, there is a character limit here. Is to just ensure that you keep it concise. So we optimize for latency and speed. And here we'll go over AI self-learning later, but here you could feed it more lengthy documents and text here in the knowledge base section by just dragging and dropping items such as, the battle cards, pricing PDFs, your competitor analysis, and even past successful email threads or transcripts. And once you've filled out this, crucial information, this analyze button will activate and as you noted that it automatically saves. So you don't need to look for a save button. So here I just click analyze. Okay, I got a 55% score. Not bad. This AI just audited my preparation, and obviously I did it quickly. You would want to spend way more time on it. Hopefully, you have a history of information you could actually input. And here it's basically a gamified strategy. I'm not guessing if I'm ready. I'm getting a grade. I add missing data. The score goes up, and now my AI coach knows my business better than my best rep. All right, so now we have to solve the robot problem. If the AI gives you a script that sounds like a textbook, you won't use it. So now let's navigate to the persona page by clicking the personalize button over here in the navigation menu. And here you could teach NexPhrase how you communicate. And here again, you can have an existing set of personas that I've already made. You just hit create persona to create a new one. And here you could fill out basic information, your persona name. So this is just for reference purposes, what you want to call it. So you can refer to it later on to edit your name. So an AI will usually use your name that's in the user account section. But in the event you want to be called something else for a particular conversation, you could change your name over here, your role title, your experience, and then your background over here you can input. So, and communication style, industry background. So, you teach NexPhrase how you communicate. Are you direct and decisive, warm and collaborative? Do you use humor? Are you married? Do you have kids? What are your hobbies? Include all the personal details that you'd like to share with others to build a connection. For example, if someone mentions tennis in a conversation and you've noted here that you played varsity in college, the real time AI suggestion will incorporate that. Oh no, you play tennis? Me too. I still play weekly and I used to dot dot dot. It's an actual conversation. It's actually you speaking. NextPhrase provides suggestions that are what you would say on your best day. You amplified. So let's just continue the previous Cloud Sync CRM project scenario that we were doing just for demonstration purposes. So here we'll just call it SDR, Sales Development Representative, Mike. So here you could write, a different name than the account name, Mike, and role would be SDR or Sales Development Representative. Experience level, mid-level. Bio, 3 years in fast sales, started as a BDR and worked my way up. I played varsity tennis, college, and still play weekly. It's my goal for building rapport with prospects. I'm motivated by helping companies solve real problems, not just hitting quota. I connect best when conversations feel genuine, not scripted. That's enough. Communication style. Say warm and conversational, but direct when it counts. Industry background, just B2B, SaaS, in technology. All right, so you just hit create persona. So just see over here as optimizing your persona bio to enhance coaching quality. You just wait for this. It's just basically taking what you inputted and making it better. So the AI that's providing real-time AI suggestions is able to use it real time. All right, so we're good to go there. As you can see over here, it created a new persona that we could use. All right, so now next, if are you in a rush, you need inspiration, or just want to have fun at the starting when beginning with NextPhrase, you could just head on to projects over here from the navigation menu. And then instead of looking at my projects here, you can go to the tab over here called Try Examples. And here we have pre-built architectures and project templates that you could try, and we'll continue to add more. We try one directly or clone one, tweak the details, and you're getting real-time AI suggestions in under 60 seconds. Efficiency isn't lazy, it's strategic. So if you want to try the NextPhrase, if you want to sell NextPhrase itself, you can interview with Elon Musk. I have a few over here. This is a fun one over here. If you want to sell a pen, the classic sales challenge. All right, so now we've learned how to create a project, which is a must, how to create a persona, which is optional, but highly recommended. We have also learned how to access some templates and examples here. And now let's try having a conversation in practice mode. To start a new conversation, you can either go to the overview over here, your main dashboard, and hit new session. You can also go to a particular project, this is the one we made, and then hit start conversation. Or you could go to the conversations page, which will have a previous conversations you did, and you could hit a new conversation over there too. All right, so let's find the one we just made. Cloud Sync CRM sales. And here you could choose the persona like I mentioned earlier, so SDR mic. You have the option to make this default for the project. And then you have a conversation context section. And here's basically a section where you could enter specific conversation information. So for example, we're continuing with the previous CRM scenario. You could put you're speaking to David Park, company is Summit Logistics. If you have some information about them, this is totally optional, by the way, right? Obviously, if you have context on them, it's better to be tailored, obviously, after doing some research. So you could say, CFO at a 200% logistics company, currently using Salesforce, but frustrated with $150 per user per month costs, had a failed NetSuite implementation 2 years ago, lost 3 months of activity, is risk averse because of that, right? I need strong proof before bringing to the board. This is a discovery call to understand their pain points and gauge interest in a pilot program. Okay, so yeah, just remember this is optional to do. You can quickly also save this specific information to load later if you would like. You would just hit save, and you can call it whatever you want. So here, Cloud Sync, CRM sales to David Park. Hit save. And then when you hit load over here, you'll see all your saved context for conversations for that specific project. And here you have the knowledge base. You could also not only input at the project level, but if you want to input something specifically for that one conversation, you can do that. And then you have previous conversation context. So just say if in this project, I already had made a number of meetings and conversations and used NexPhrase, I would be able to search through them and just say if I've already spoken to David over here, and this is my second or third call or meeting, I could actually click and use them and tell the AI to use them in real time as a reference point for the history between me and the person I'm speaking to when we're having another meeting. So now if we click proceed below, proceed to conversation session, we'd be taken to the live conversation page where NextPhrase will basically start. But in this case, we're going to go up. We're going to hit the toggle over here beside practice mode. And you don't rise to the occasion, you fall to the level of your training. So welcome to the practice mode. It's your private flight simulator. And this serves two purposes. First, test your setup, which is crucial. This is where you discover what's missing in the coaching brief. The AI partner throws questions at you and you see exactly what suggestions NextPhrase generates. If something falls flat, why didn't it know our pricing tiers? That's your signal to go back and strengthen your coaching brief or upload that missing document. Find the holes now, not when there's money on the line. And then the second reason is that you want to build your muscle. Practice mode lets you actually speak, move your mouth, feel the rhythm of receiving real-time AI suggestions while holding a conversation. Visualize the pressure, feel the emotions, train your brain to trust the system. So when the real call comes, you won't be adjusting, you'll be executing. And obviously pilots don't learn to fly during turbulence, neither should you. All right, so here, the practice AI instructions field, this is where you input the instructions for the practice AI partner, as in their role play instructions. You can type here from scratch or ask NextPhrase to generate the instructions by selecting from friendly, balanced, and challenging. And it will analyze the project's coaching brief. So let me just select challenging. And it'll basically, analyze everything you've inputted in the project's coaching brief and conversation context over here that you provided, and then create the practice AI partner instructions for you, which then you can use as is, or you can edit and refine them as you wish. And once again, you could save and load previous ones as well. save over here, call it practice. What did the name of this person? David, right? Practice David, partner V1, something. Okay, now it's save. If you go to load save, you'll be able to see it next time. All right, so now we're good to go. Once you're ready, you're gonna scroll down and then hit proceed to practice session. All right, so this is the live conversation page. This is a practice session. So although this is a practice session, we've made the layout basically be similar to when you're actually having a real conversation. Only thing is you won't see this practice session in progress, and you won't see practice session obviously wording here. And this is a section you won't see as well. This is strictly for practice AI partner. Everything else is similar. So you'll have real-time AI suggestions that pop up here. You have a conversation context over here, which on the fly, you could change the conversation context that you added earlier if you learned something and that you want the real-time AI suggestion to know as the conversation continues. You have your performance analytics here. You'll have the live transcript that'll pop up, and you'll have a conversation summary that will basically automatically update as the conversation goes. And you could choose the text size over here. Do you want it small, medium, or large? Suggestions over here. You could lock the scroll that will appear over here. You could mute it over here once the conversation starts. All right, so now let's start the practice session by hitting start conversation button over here. Hi, David. Thanks for taking the time today. I'm Mike, and I was hoping we could spend the next 20 minutes discussing how Summit Logistics is managing the complexity and cost associated with your current Salesforce setup.
Mike, I'm pressed for time. Show me a side-by-side cost comparison and the concrete ROI you can deliver within 6 months.
I completely understand your time is valuable, David. To give you a quick snapshot, our typical customers see a 40% reduction in total cost of ownership compared to Salesforce. I'd be happy to walk you through a detailed side-by-side comparison and discuss how CloudSync CRM can help Summit Logistics achieve a tangible ROI within 6 months. Would you like me to share some specific examples of how our solution has helped similar companies in the logistics industry?
Give me the side-by-side cost table now, including per user fees, migration costs, and expected savings, and a one-page ROI model showing break-even in under 6 months. I'll review those before we discuss any pilot.
I just hit paused over here. And yeah, as you can see, you could continue practicing. You could follow along and see exactly what the real-time AI suggestions are saying. You could change it up a little bit. You always don't have to follow them. They're there when you need it. And let me show you around over here. As you can see, the live transcript is showing over there. And then we have this, I'm going to show you this feature that makes this setup over here feel like a superpower. So you're going to hit share button over here and you get a secure link. And you can open this link on your phone, your tablet, your second monitor. And basically, here's the psychology of the play. When you're thinking hard, you naturally look away from the camera. You look up, you look left, you look right. And it's human behavior, right? And with multi-screen mode, everywhere you look, a suggestion is waiting. You could just copy paste this link to all the devices and you'll be able to see the exact same real-time AI suggestions that you're seeing here on all those devices simultaneously. So then now, when you ask a question, you could look to your left, to your iPad, and the pricing objection handler is right there. Then you look right and up, the closing statement is right there on your monitor. And to them, it looks like you're just deeply contemplating the question. To you, you're reading the answer. It's an unfair advantage disguised as contemplation. And then you can obviously send this link to your manager or your coworker, and they can watch the transcript live and debrief you based on data, not just memory. Okay, so I'm just going to end the conversation over here. Right after we end, as you can see over here, you'll get a conversation summary. Um, just a quick, for reference when you're looking back, what your practice mode AI instructions were, the persona you used, a summary of the conversation, items discussed, key decisions, and the next steps. We get a detailed full transcript of the discussion you had. The analytics, this is where we'll go over later on, but basically it takes 1 to 2 minutes to generate because the AI is working on the back end. Then when you refresh the page, you should be able to see it. And then the AI suggestions, basically, after if you realize during the conversation, oh, I didn't like this AI suggestion or this could do better, you could go back and reference every suggestion that you did receive. All right, then. So then practice is over. The stakes are real. Now, when you're ready for a real conversation, you're going to proceed the same way. You're going to go to your project, start a conversation. Now, you're going to proceed the same way, but you're going to leave the practice mode disabled. The conversation page looks the same, and it's just when you start it over here, let's say you choose. Okay, remember we had saved it earlier, so you could just load saved, pop up over here, lead to conversation session. As you can see, everything looks the same over here. You're just going to be conversing with an actual person. The AI partner section is just not there anymore. And yeah, so you're on the call or meeting. NexPhrase is listening. It is processing natural language in real time. And when the client throws a curveball and says, I heard your implementation takes 6 months, you don't freeze. Before your brain even finishes processing the fear, NexPhrase checks your knowledge base, finds that there's a 3 month fast track document you uploaded, and serves up the perfect response. It's like having a master strategist whispering in your ear. You appear calm, collected, and completely in control. And let me show you this compounding effect NexPhrase has. Most software stay static, but NexPhrase, evolves. So I'm just gonna open up a previous project over here. This one is disabled actually. Let me try to find another one. I'm trying to see which one has the AI self-learning enabled. This one has it enabled. So yeah, you would go to enable it. It's already enabled by default for all projects, so you would have to disable it manually. But it's over here if you want to disable it. So you could view basically how this works is that every suggestion that you accept, as in it provides a real-time AI suggestion. If you say something similar, it learns that, okay, this was good. The user liked it. And however, if you dismiss the suggestion, so you ignore one suggestion and say something else, or you say it, however, it didn't have the right impact or it didn't end well with the other person you're speaking to, then they will say, okay, too aggressive, we won't use that suggestion. And then so basically you'll use it for a week, helpful. You use NextPhrase for a month, it becomes an extension of your mind. Then you use it for a year and you have a proprietary competitive advantage that no one else can replicate. And you're fully in control. As you can see over here, this is what I'm showing you. You go into the details and edit what it has learned, ensuring that if in case you made a mistake during a meeting and it was captured, you basically don't want it to use it as a guidance for the future, so you basically delete and edit as you wish. Now let's talk about analytics. There are different points of access for analytics. For example, going through the same one I just went through right now, just say I pull up a previous conversation just for test purposes, selling to Elon Musk. Next phrase. So you have basically on the conversation level, each conversation you'll get a score, and you can view different basically metrics: your talk listen ratio, your question quality, your engagement, your clarity, sentiment, objection handling. Clearly, didn't go well over here. Key moments, tell you what basically impacted the conversation, like great question, objection, engagement drop. Okay, you could basically maximize this objection handling, how you did there, and areas for improvement, your question quality details, and your strengths. So that's basically on each conversation. You'll see this. And then you'll have on a higher level, project level, analytics that basically see trends and patterns across all your conversation. You can ignore the team leadership thing. That'll be a different video we'll go over. And basically, you see something like this over here. You'll see your average performance scores, top performing conversations, trends, patterns, and insights. And then you have analytics at the account level. That basically takes into account all your conversations across all the projects. It'll give you a global average score. And then you can view by project like we discussed. You look at insights, then recent activities and recent conversations. So that's it. That's a quick overview of how to get started on an individual level. Make sure you download the desktop app, available both on Mac and Windows. Capture and use system audio for input. The desktop apps also allows for a transparent overlay that sits on top of Zoom, Teams, Google Meet, or any other app. You can also enable hidden mode, which makes it invisible to screen sharing. So you look brilliant, and the technology stays in the shadows. And every conversation is a competition between the version of you that freezes and the version of you that performs. Remember that NexPhrase doesn't just replace your skills, it removes the friction between your preparation and your execution. Go to nexphrase.ai. It's free to start, no credit card, no commitment. The question isn't whether you need this, it's whether you let your competition find it first. Don't just be prepared, be augmented. See you on the inside.